Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Ann Hefkin, and I am the Executive Director of Legal Services of Northwest Minnesota. In just a moment, we are going to hear from a panel about how to support Minnesotans that are dealing with consumer debt. This includes enacting laws to offer more protection and helping people avoid the worst consequences of debt. The legal aid community is fortunate to have partners in the Attorney General's office championing this reform, and we're honored to hear from two of them today. I am pleased to introduce Chief Deputy Attorney General John Keller and his colleague Abdulaziz Mohammed. Abdulaziz can join the list of people whose names I've mispronounced. The most recent one is Justice Hennessy, who is on the Minnesota Supreme Court. So hopefully, you can follow in her footsteps. He serves as the Government and Public Policy Coordinator. Chief Deputy Keller is the second-ranking attorney at the Office of the Attorney General. Before his appointment in early 2019, John spent more than 20 years at the Immigrant Law Center of Minnesota, including 14 as executive director. I know many of us in the room know John. He's one of us. He's a legal aider, and we were so sad to lose him in the legal aid community, but thrilled that he joined the Attorney General's office. Abdulaziz Mohammed is a 2023 graduate of the University of Minnesota, where he served as the first Somali American student body president. As student body president, he championed the rights of marginalized students who had food insecurity, housing, and mental health needs. He's in the legal aid community too, you guys. We know he is. He worked as a committee legislative assistant in the Minnesota House of Representatives before joining the Attorney General's office. Thank you both for being here and for your partnership.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's my pleasure to be here. Thanks, Anne, for the warm introduction. It's so good to be back among friends and colleagues and see so many faces that I had the pleasure to work with side by side for more than 23 years. Attorney General Ellison, unfortunately, was unable to make it, but he was pleased that I could fill in for him today. I'm going to be brief and ask Abdulaziz to share more of the details about the debt protections and the successes that will be the focus of the panel and of our collaborations. I've been at the Attorney General's office for 5.5 years, and as you heard before that, 23 years in the legal aid community. I held almost every job an attorney can hold there, including as a 1L law clerk after my first year of law school. And it is no exaggeration to say that I owe all of you a tremendous amount of gratitude and debt for the opportunity to work beside you, to have the pleasure of building the calluses. Listening to some of the statistics today, I think they are calluses of love and tears when you turn away clients that you know you can help. But for the lack of resources and the lack of colleagues that those resources can maintain. Part of my journey and the values that serve me well in my current role were founded and deepened by my work in legal services. I learned how to be a lawyer after clerking at the Court of Appeals. I learned how to deal with burgeoning caseloads and burnout and self-care, mostly from not practicing self-care and finding that that's not sustainable. I learned the importance of leading with vision and integrity, about justice through learning about injustice, the need to communicate well and to listen even better, and the importance of building strong teams and strategic collaborations. With the right partners, you can take big and strategic risks for the right reasons, always centering decisions on how to get the biggest bang for the effort and how to expand opportunity for clients, communities, constituents. All of these skills are the skills I share with you. I'm proud of the collaboration on consumer protection that we're here to discuss. And through those successes, Minnesota is a stronger place for all communities. Our consumer protection team at the Attorney General's office is a group of analysts. It's unique in Attorney General offices across the country. They exist every working day to take phone calls and receive emails from Minnesotans about problems that they hope we can help them with. Does that sound familiar to this group? That team of predominantly young people, predominantly non-attorneys, find ways to work on consumer debt, hospital debt, issues that affect everyday Minnesotans. And they return to the pockets not only millions of dollars every year, but dignity to individuals who thought had no chance to resolve crushing problems and debt. It made perfect sense for us at the office to collaborate once again with Legal Aid to combine the years of accumulated calluses and the remedies that our office had gained and worked on with Minnesotans and build that into a smart legislative effort to systemically change the playing field. A playing field, if we're honest, in Minnesota that for many, many years was to work exactly as it was working, to benefit the wealthy, to benefit those with counsel, at the cost of those who had neither of those things. My deepest thanks to all of you that helped make those meaningful changes. We know that more is needed, and we trust that more is on its way. Let me end by saying, and before turning it over to Abdulaziz, that from my perspective, after these many years, we in this room and listening remotely, along with our colleagues that we have the privilege to supervise, are amongst the very most privileged of leaders. Our work allows us to clearly see some of our society's biggest failings. But it also positions us not to despair, but rather to come together, to collaborate, and to make generational changes as we build more fair and more just communities, states, and country. Today's challenging times need us to be more focused and energized than ever. I thank the Legal Services Corporation for your 50 years of justice support. I thank my colleagues, and I turn it over to Abdulaziz to provide more specifics on most recent victories. Thank you.
Thank you, Ann and John Keller, for the introduction. As you can tell, I'm not Attorney General Keith Ellison, but I have the pleasure of working for him each and every single day. My name is Abdulaziz Mohammed, and I serve as the Government Affairs and Public Policy Coordinator for Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison. Last summer, our office embarked on a journey to champion debt fairness. What started off as an idea inspired by the Minnesota State Bar Association's Access to Justice Committee's report on Minnesota consumer debt litigation evolved into the Minnesota Debt Fairness Act, landmark legislation that eases the burden of medical debt and consumer debt, a piece of legislation that makes it fairer and easier for Minnesotans to pay back what they borrow, recognizing that the burden of debt is not a personal failing, but a systems problem, a problem with our economic system and a problem with our healthcare financing system and how both those systems interact. After months of hard work, convening community groups and storytellers, engaging with legislators, chairing countless meetings, and navigating 7 committee hearings, the bill passed and was signed into law by Governor Walz last month. This act prohibits medical debt reporting to credit bureaus, ensures no one is denied necessary care due to unpaid debt, establishes fair garnishment levels based on income, among 31 other critical provisions. This achievement not only marks a significant win for Minnesota consumers, but also sets a precedent for similar efforts nationwide. It's encouraging to see the Biden-Harris administration aligning efforts with Minnesota, highlighting the momentum towards equitable medical debt practices. So I am deeply grateful to everyone who helped contribute to this success, especially Katie Drehas, who chaired the Access to Justice Committee, and the partners and advocates in this room who provide support every step of the way. And I'm happy to say we plan to come back with more on medical debt relief next legislative session. With that said, I appreciate your commitment to economic justice, particularly at a time when Minnesotans need it most. And I am proud to introduce the next segment of this panel, a panel discussion on relieving Minnesotans' debt burden, moderated by the president of LSC. Thank you.